cool. Stay cool. Stay cool, baby. Love that intro music. Staying cool. What's going on, my brother from another mother? Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast in the house. Back on the channel, hanging out with the old samurai. That is right. I saw your comment. You just, you just typed in right now.
That's what he said.
What is it? What is it again?
I'm tired of dealing with idiots.
I'm tired of dealing with idiots. Yes, yes, yes. That's right. We're here to talk about Sean Connery and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yes, yes. Directed by Stephen Norrington. We're going to get into it here. But first, let's see who is here from the Movie Dojo Army. Who we got in the house? Who we got here? Let's see who is here to represent badassity. We got Gojira851. What's going on? Eric Planter. Jake Hall. Gojira's a fan. Likes the movie. Jake likes the film. Phat. What's going on? All right, Nate Dog. Let's start the ruckus. Heather Love. I love food. Oh, yeah. Orlando in the house. Ooey Tooby. That's right. Film Fanatic in the house. Gilbert. That's right. Some guy named the Asian Movie Enthusiast is here. Awesome. Great Garlu, Bob Odinson, Samurai Warriors. He says, I have to admit, I like the movie, but then again, I'm a huge Sean Connery fan. Hey, it's all good. Yeah. It's all good. All right. And let's see at the bottom here. Gilbert says, Asian Movie Enthusiast to a Samurai Guy. How are you doing getting the ruckus started? All right. Yeah, we're going to get it started today, brother. All right. LXG. So it's for shits and giggles. I'm kind of having fun now reading the IMDb plot synopsises.
I haven't even read it.
After that last week versus episode, I'm kind of having fun. Yeah, lots of fights. So when we have Rick and all the big names here, shoot, I might have you do the plot synopsis for the next verses. We'll see. But let's go ahead and go over here and read it. And don't forget, for Is It Really That Bad episodes, if you are new to the channel, thank you for watching and tuning in and hanging out with us knuckleheads. As we love talking about movies, there will be spoilers. There will be spoilers in this, so I just want to give you guys a heads up. So if you're new, here's a quick plot synopsis. Here we go. In an alternate Victorian age world, a group of famous contemporary fantasy, science fiction, and adventure characters team up on a secret mission. There's one cute girl and lots of fights. No, I'm just kidding. I just threw that in there. Not bad. We've read worse IMDb plot synopsises. So I had to rewatch this for the second time. This is my second time. I've only seen this movie once. So it came back out way back, 2003, directed by one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time, Blade, baby. That's right. Directed by Stephen Norrington. And it stars Sean Connery. Yes. That's right. And Nasiruddin Shah. I apologize if I screwed that up. Peter Wilson from La Femme Nikita. Does anybody remember that TV series? Mm-hmm. Tony Curran, Stuart Townsend, Shane West, and the amazing, always fun, Jason Fleming. And many more. But I didn't get a chance to see this in theater. I actually ended up, I think, renting it like a few years later. I watched it, and I liked parts of it. I did like parts of it. But overall, especially with that horrible kind of rushed ending, the voodoo doctor, right? I remember like that was my face. Like I was like, what the fuck was that, right?
They kind of ripped that off at the end of BVS, by the way.
Right, they're gonna BVS.
The dust kind of
yeah. Wow. Superman busts out. But I don't remember hating it though. I don't remember hating the movie. I remember liking parts of it, but you could see there was a few issues that that we'll be pointing out anyway. But I don't remember hating it. It wasn't like an Elektra experience. Because a lot of people put this movie down there where it's like one of the worst, not even one of the worst movies ever made. It's one of the worst superhero comic book movies ever made. Now, here's the thing. We're approaching this as film fans. We just love movies. So we don't have any history with the graphic novel created by Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill. So I understand. I completely understand for those who are diehard fans of that graphic novel and then watching this. I'm sure Hollywood probably fucked it up for you. Because I heard the comic book is a lot more serious. It's mature rated. So, that's up Samurai's alley right there. And who knows? I may end up reading it later in the future just for fun. But anyway, so that's what I just want to remind everyone. That's how kind of we're approaching the movie. We're just approaching it as film fans. That's it. So, but even some film fans out there, and it's fine. Everyone has their own opinion. This is the worst movie they've ever seen in their entire life. Okay. So to each his own. That's perfectly fine. But rewatching it today, I'll get to my experience. But let's go to you. When was the first time you watched this? When did you rewatch it? Let's go.
I saw it in the cinema.
Oh, shit.
Out. And the only reason I did is because of Peter Wilson. Because I used to watch that little La Femme Nikita show. I did. I kind of liked it.
Wasn't that the theme song?
Yeah, something like that. And no, I haven't seen that show in ages. It could be terrible if I were to rewatch it, but I remember liking it when it came out. And then I saw her in...
She's quite. I'm gonna use a term that you used before. She's quite fetching.
Ooh, I was gonna say that.
Yes, darn it. I know you. I know my boy.
she's rather pulchritudinous. I'll say that.
Oh,
so yeah,
fancy then.
So I was interested in seeing her in like a bigger budget film. You know what I mean? So that's probably the main reason I saw it. And I remember coming out of the theater and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And then I rewatched it a few years ago, and then I rewatched it again just yesterday.
Right. How do you feel about it right now?
I feel the same way I did when I left the theater, even though I understand more of the problems in it.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, and we'll get into some of the more of the problems, but the major big problem though was Stephen Norrington and Sean Connery did not get along. And there was a lot of fights and a lot of, not fisticuffs. I'm sure Sean Connery I'm sure he wanted to punch him out. But Sean Connery yelling at Stephen saying, "I'm going to get you fired." Mm-hmm. And Stephen Norrington, he turned towards Sean Connery and he said, "I'm doing my best." And then Sean Connery said, "Your best? Only losers whine about doing their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen." Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That's what happened. Now, I think if I read between the lines, if I read between the lines here, Sean Connery, he made a few rough decisions later in his career by passing on some huge roles like Lord of the Rings and The Matrix and Harry Potter. And, I think at this point in his career, early 2000s, he was already getting old. I think he was kind of done with the long production schedules. And I read a quote from him that said something like, "I just want to get this thing over with." So I think maybe, and the reason why he passed on Lord of the Rings, the first thing he mentioned in the interview I saw was that it was 14 to 16 months shooting in New Zealand.
Right.
So I think, I don't know, I wouldn't say he's getting lazy at this point in his career, but I don't know. I think he was less apt to deal with crap. So I think maybe his ego might have been a little bit of a problem. Whereas the director, because they got behind schedule early in this shoot, because there was like flooding and early in the production, and they lost like $7 million worth of sets, and like it was 2 weeks behind schedule. So the director's trying to like regroup and keep doing quality checks. Yeah. And you got Connery just being like, let's get this over with.
Yeah. Plus, I think he said with The Matrix, he was just like, "What the fuck is this shit?" He's like, "I don't understand this."
And then he said something like, I after Lawrence took the role, I asked him what the film was about, and he still didn't know. Something like that.
That's great. That's great. But yeah, not only was it this, the director and lead actor butting heads, but there was studio interference, and also there was a lawsuit going on that believe it or not, it wasn't Alan Moore saying, "Give me my fucking rights back. You're ruining it." It wasn't Alan Moore. It was somebody else that pitched the idea of like this concept to the studio like years before, and they were like, "Oh, now you're capitalizing." And even Alan Moore's like, "All right, now you're making me mad now because I wrote this."
I think he was pissed they settled it out of court because that made him look bad, right?
That's right.
I think that's what I heard.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, there's all kinds of problems here, and especially when we get to the third act, you can tell they ran out of budget, man. They ran out of budget and time.
Probably, yeah.
Yes, to complete those special effects, because everything up to that point was like to great, solid. Ooh, but do the positives outweigh the negatives? Right. That's what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss it. So let's go ahead and get into The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I enjoy the beginning. Right off the bat, we get this badass tank heist. A tank heist. Not just a heist. A tank heist. Just coming out of nowhere, crashing through walls, crashing through houses, crashing through the bank walls, and they're, stealing plans in there for the Phantom. Very operatic name, yes. It wasn't the cheesy one-liners that made me go, oh. It was the exposition, like the audience's dumb moments, which it's like, dude, just come on. We'll get into that later, right? It's like the audience is not stupid. Stop it, movie. Anyway, but yeah, I enjoyed the beginning. Plus, we got the Phantom. What was that? It was like
I'm confused. I thought it was a harpoon at first.
Yeah, a rocket harpoon. Yeah, or something. I don't know. It was evil.
Yeah,
it was an evil bazooka.
He wants the world.
That's right. He wants to rule the world or start war, and he's blowing up blimps. So evil shenanigans are happening here. But yeah, for those of you that are just coming in now, this is based off of the Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill work here. And I believe Mina, I might be incorrect with this, but she kind of was like the leader. She kind of helped get everyone together in the novel. I think that would have been really interesting to see that in the film as well. But if you notice, what's missing from here, Eric? What is missing?
What is missing? Oh, is Tom Sawyer missing from there?
And
Dorian Gray?
Yes. So the studio said, hey, there's not enough
American up in here.
Yeah. There's not enough characters. So the studio literally threw in Dorian Gray, right? The actor was playing the actor was doing very good impression of Johnny Depp playing a British guy.
He was very suave. I kind of liked him though.
No. It was like perfect balance of suave and douchebag.
Yeah.
He was like right there. But yeah, they threw him in there. And of course, okay. Now, Lady Fat Blood. Okay, here we go. So when Tom Sawyer came in, when they brought him in, studio brought him in for the kids. Like they brought him in for the younger audience. Hey, we're bringing some youngling. Let's, have, they'll probably work out in the end. So more teenagers will watch LXG, which is ridiculous. But that's why he was brought in. That's the only reason why he was there, right? Plus, like you said, let's have an American in there. We got to have somebody represent USA. Get the USA chance, right? But the first time I watched this, well, the first time I seen this movie was with Lady Fat Blood. We were watching it together. And as soon as Tom Sawyer walked in and started bullshit and started talking, she was like, no. She's like, no. Yeah. It just didn't fit, man. It didn't fit. Doesn't matter if he's American. That's got nothing to do with it. It just didn't. It just was weird. Tom Sawyer. That's right. As an American agent. What? That's fine. Whatever. Does it ruin the movie? No. But I think it hurts it a little bit. And there's some action moments that he was okay in, but it hurts it a little bit though, because unfortunately the movie takes a detour and we spend more time with him, and he's like the least and he's the least memorable character out of all this group. And like, let's spend more, like, fucking Nemo, dude. We can have a whole movie on Nemo.
Yeah.
Like Nemo's adventures, Let's get a little bit more backstory with the other characters. Like, let's follow Mina. Like, let's follow, let's do a little bit more. But no, we're hanging out with Tom Sawyer. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the negatives of the film for me here. But yeah, go ahead and let's go into it here. So he gets called. Oh, actually, the first the first action sequence I actually enjoyed. When the guy came there, he's like, "Are you Alan Quartermain?" And it's some random old dude there. He's like, "Yes, I'm Alan Quartermain. Ha ha. Buy me a drink. I'll tell you tall tales. Make that a double. Hey." Right? And so these all drinking, and of course, real Alan Quartermain turns around and makes his presence known, kind of giving up on the Empire and the British. He's kind of given up because you find out later that they called upon him to go on a mission. He went on a mission with his son, and his son died in his arms. Right? That was actually a pretty good scene. Sean Connery talking about how his son died and how he kind of just put the Alan Quartermain legend to rest, until, it's the end of the world now. You got to do something. So he's like, "Oh, fuck it." So he gets, he actually says that in the movie. No, I'm kidding. But the opening action sequence, you had dudes coming in with automatic weapons. This movie kind of had like a what you call steampunk vibe too. It had a steampunk vibe to it. But yeah, automatic weapons. They had like bulletproof vests. They were coming in, and I enjoyed that opening action sequence because death happened. People died. Like the guy who was posing as Alan Quartermain, he got shot. He was dead. The other guy who was helping fight back with Sean Connery, he got shot. And then as soon as Sean Connery got out to the building, the whole building blew up. I was like, holy fuck. I was like, holy shit. Oh, before that, Sean Connery impaled the motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, and a horn up against the wall.
I was like, okay, movie. All right. I'm paying attention. Let's do this. But, he gets talked into putting this team together. And let's see here. Now, did you enjoy The Invisible Man?
Did I enjoy him? I thought the actor did a good enough job, but he was underutilized throughout the film.
Yeah,
no pun intended, but he disappeared for huge sections of the film. I'm like, dude, where's the Invisible Man? I'm like, what's this dude doing?
Yeah, especially with one of the best fights in the film was when best action sequences, like legitimately good action sequences, was in Dorian Gray's house.
Yeah, the library.
That was legitimately badass, guys. Yeah. If you've never seen LXG, dude, we got Nemo doing fucking kung fu. He doing martial arts. He's like a badass, right?
They kick the ladder, and the ladder swings around and forces the guys to like retract their guns through. It was cool,
dude. And even whatchamacallit, Dorian Gray's doing some fencing, just fucking dudes. He can't die because he's cursed, unless he looks at his painting of himself. Then he'll die. But the guy just unloads bullets in him. He's like, ah, and he's just like, really? And the guy's like, what are you? And he goes, I'm Batman. No, he goes, it's complicated.
Yeah. And then in the next shot, his suit is all perfect again. Did you notice that? There's no bullet holes or anything. I'm like, man, that guy changes fast.
But it's the only reason I'm bringing this up is because you're reminding me right now. He's like, the Invisible Man literally disappears. When that action scene takes off, you get that cool shot of Invisible Man running, and he's right putting the makeup off. He's getting naked, so they can't see him. And then the whole fight, Kung Fu Nemo, vampire chick doing her thing, Alan Quartermain fighting some dude in the back, Tom Sawyer's listening to Rush, shooting dudes across, everywhere, right? Yeah. Everybody's doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, Invisible Man comes out with one book. One book. Take that. I was like, what? What is he doing the whole time?
Like, what they should have done is not even showing him, and just have like a guy have like Sean Connery like dead to rights, and all of a sudden like his gun gets taken away from him. Stuff like that. It would have been
that would have been fun. That would have been fun. But yeah, I was kind of laughing about that. I was like, where'd he go? Oh, he's over here with a book. All right, but putting the team together, you got this character by the name of M. Puts the team, he gets Sean Connery together. Just Sean Connery together. he gets Alan Quartermain together to get the team together. And all of a sudden, it's like, soon as him and Nemo meet, he's like, oh, this motherfucker, we can trust this guy? He's a pirate, isn't he? Mm-hmm. There's already this little, like, we don't trust each other between Nemo and Alan Quartermain, which was interesting because they have some interesting dialogue later when they start to kind of bond or have an understanding and to work together, right? But yeah, they're going on their adventures. But before they start that, dude, everything Nemo is great.
Yeah.
Everything Nemo is badass. What the hell is that? Yeah, automobile. Dude, that's fucking great. The design.
Dude, I drive that, man. You gotta be kidding me.
The designs of the cars, the design of all Nemo's tech, the sword of the ocean, like everything Nemo was fucking dope. And what was really bad? At the end of the movie, I heard that if they were going to do a sequel, Tom Sawyer was going to be the leader. I was like,
of course.
No. How about the motherfucker that does kung fu? How about who's an actual leader and badass sword fighter, and he has the tech? How about he's the leader? It's like, really?
This is a common thing we see over the years. I mean, the recent Mortal Kombat movie, they picked the wrong character to lead it. What was another one? I'm trying to think. There's a lot of examples you could pick from.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, it's a great point because it's true. It's true. So Tom Sawyer's our Cole of the movie. But yeah, I was like, that would have been terrible. But here's the thing: if Sean Connery's character Alan Quartermain was going to come back to life, why would they have Tom Sawyer lead anyway? It's kind of weird. Unless it was just give him more screen time or whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But yeah, so they're going on their adventures, and you find out later that Phantom, very operatic. He's trying to bomb. He put all these bombs underneath Venice, and he wants to just drown Venice. Just destroy a whole city. That'll kick off the world war. That's one of the motives, and then you find out the other motives later when they get to his lair. Did you laugh hysterically when he came in before the action sequence kicked off in Dorian Gray's lair? Did you laugh when he's trying to persuade them to join his team? And it was just fun. His face was funny because he's just like, I just wanted to ask you guys if you'd like to join me. I was like, okay, this guy's chewing the scenery. He's having fun here. But another negative to this movie, I love this guy's look.
Well, his mask, though, isn't covering all of his deformity, though. It should probably be a little lower or something.
Right. The only negative to him is that they revealed who it really was way too early. That should have been the last, when he's fighting Alan Quartermain at the end. Then he gets unmasked, and then you're like, holy shit, it was M the whole time. It was a setup, M from Moriarty. That's right, the Sherlock Holmes arch nemesis. That's right. And it would, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think, or you were fine with it, him revealing his identity earlier in the film? Because that was like midway. We knew it was him.
The thing is, I like the actor who played M. I think he had more charisma than his villain character. So that's kind of my struggle with that. I wish they would have waited longer, but I like the actor when he, I think he's just more compelling when he's not in the mask and makeup. I don't know.
Join me. Yeah. No. You think you're onto something right there. You're definitely onto something. But we do have some fun here. We get some fun action sequences. We get some fun characters here, and I like when you didn't really see Mina pull the trigger yet, in that action sequence, and then all of a sudden she's like, all right, I'm going to reveal myself. I'm going to kill this motherfucker in front of everybody so they know what's going on. Tasty Kool-Aid. Right, so she takes him out. And what makes me laugh, though, is right after that, she's like all covered in blood, and then all of a sudden she's like, all right, I got to fix my makeup.
Yeah.
That was pretty hilarious. That was kind of funny. But yeah, there's definitely fun moments here and there. Now, believe it or not, it's not just the ending where, Blah, 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 blah. Voodoo doctor. It's not just that. This was one of everyone's biggest pet peeves. This is the kind of the deal breaker. Now, one of the deal breaker is the concept. A lot of people were like, this is dumb, but they didn't know it was based off of, graphic novel. Right? But one of the big pet peeves from people in this movie that's a deal breaker is Hyde. Mm-hmm. It is the look of Hyde is just one of the huge negatives that people bring up about when they start talking about this film. They're like, Jesus Christ. Well, they were trying to make him look huge.
Like Hulk almost.
Yeah, I mean, look at him right here. He's huge, and so I don't mind. Here's the thing. I'm like this with it. Even with the CG Red Hulk that we see later, I'm like this with it. And here's the thing. If you look at it when he's not moving, it looks good.
Yeah, definitely.
The design, I mean, this is all one big practical animatronic suit.
That's 8 hours of makeup.
Yeah. And Jason Fleming's used to that. He's like, I'll do it. He's always playing these kind of crazy characters. That's why he's awesome. But it's kind of like, when you look at the design of it, it looks good. It's actually impressive, practical and makeup effects, and the suit is actually pretty good. It's just when they put him in the forced perspective view, and he's running around like Vanilla Gorilla, something looks off. What do you think? Help me out here. What is your honest opinion of Hyde here?
I agree with you. I think, but once they start putting him in action, I almost feel like it would have worked, and this is one of my problems with the movies. I think they went too far with the blockbuster stuff. I think if they ramped it down a little bit, we're going to get to a few scenes where they take it too far. Just ratchet it back a little bit. Don't worry about going all out with this absurd CG orgy explosion nonsense, right? If they kept him more grounded and he was fighting dudes in action scenes that were a little bit more restrictive, it could have been really, really sweet. You know what I mean? More practical effect, like punching dudes through walls and stuff, instead of the more CGI fest type stuff.
Right. I mean, he does hit some stuntmen, but you can tell it's forced perspective, so it looks weird. Something doesn't look right. I mean, I don't want to shit on the people that did all the hard work to make this. I mean, it's actually impressive. Now, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. A lot of people said, well, they should have just, if they couldn't do it practical, they should have just said fuck it and went CGI. Now, apparently, Steven didn't want to go the full CGI. The only time it's CGI fight is when he's fighting Red Hulk.
Yeah.
At the end. That's really they had to do it that way.
Yeah.
But Ang Lee's Hulk was out around the time. And so Stephen Norton's, I don't want to do a full CGI character, the whole movie. Let's go the practical route, which we can champion that. We love that kind of stuff. It's just some parts of it looked wonky. But here's the thing. Everyone that complains about this, they should have went full CGI, right? Well, if they did that, most likely he probably would have looked like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Does anybody remember this Hyde? And this was a year later. This is Van Helsing. This is a year later. This is 1 year later.
Oh God, I got to rewatch that movie. That was a dumpster fire.
So here you go, guys. So chat, let me know right now. Which one do you prefer? Let me know right now, chat. Practical Hyde or CGI Hyde? It's up to you. I'm curious to hear. We'll go to the comments a little bit later and see what you guys think. But yeah, a year later, that's what Hyde looked like. Full CGI there. But yeah, go ahead and let's take it from there. Go ahead and take over in terms of plot synopsis and storytelling. They catch Hyde.
Yep, in a net.
I'll let you take it from there. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah. Then they decide to travel to Venice, right? In Nemo's submarine, the Nautilus.
Yeah.
And they're starting to see weird stuff happening on board. Like something's not right. They suspect there could be a mole on board. There's certain things that go missing. Certain dust that they find in the hallways. They're trying to figure out what it is. They figure out it's from camera. Somebody's taking pictures. Like something's going on here. So meanwhile, that's happening. And then they get to Venice, right? And as soon as they get to Venice, crap goes down. Now, number one, and this is one of the little things that people will complain about. How the Nautilus gets like into the middle of Venice somehow, like this huge like submarine thing. But whatever. And then as soon as they get there, the bombs just go off. Like there's not much time to react here. So this is where the film, in my opinion, like takes things a few steps too far in terms of its attempt to be a blockbuster.
Okay.
So it we have the whole premise of this attack, right, is that this phantom dude is going to blow up, certain parts of Venice, and it creates a cascading effect where the buildings are all toppling, and it's like a rippling effect. So they're like, well, the whole city's going to go down. So like, well, let's figure out a way to get ahead of this crippling effect, and then launch a flare in the air so that the Nautilus can launch a missile and blow up like the next building that it's gonna hit right before it hits it, so that the effect stops. Yeah. That's this whole like scene, right? Which okay. But the problem is that the scene goes on for so long that like half the city is destroyed. And at the end, Connery's like, Venice is saved, and I'm like, was it really, Sean? Was it really? Like, how would this not spark a world war? I mean, half the city's gone. But the scene, I did like the scene.
It's fun.
We get some cool. We get a car chase with the sweet car. You get Tom Sawyer there doing a little Chow Yun-Fat impression with his guns, and then you get the vampire lady does a little bat effect and changes into a plethora of bats and takes out some of the guards.
I wanted more of this. More of this would have been cool too.
And and again, this whole time, where's the Invisible Man? I'm like, dude, where is this dude? And at that point, you find out that Dorian, skips out and does his own thing.
He's the traitor, not Skinner.
But then during this scene, right, they get out ahead of, Connor even abandons Tom Sawyer's like, you handle this crap. I'm going to go after the Phantom.
Yeah.
So Sawyer by himself, like, gets ahead of this cascading effect. He somehow survives crashing this car headfirst into a building.
He jumped in the water. He jumped in the water.
Yeah. And Connery confronts the Phantom in a cemetery, right? And this Phantom dude's kind of a wimp. I mean, he doesn't. He's always running away. Like,
it's like, why bother showing up? Just have your minions do stuff.
He taunts him, and then he runs away, and taunts him, and then runs away. But he gets away after they find out that it's M, right? So that's the unmasking scene. And that's basically that scene before we head back to the sub, right? The Nautilus.
Right. And, with that, it was a fun action sequence. But you could tell, especially if you do some research behind the scenes, they did everything. They CGI, tons of miniature buildings. They even, bro, I'm telling you, you got to find the footage. You can find the footage. They even had a little model car, bro, with action figures of the characters in it, and they're driving around. They used every trick in the book for this movie until they ran out of money at the end, unfortunately. But yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun looking at some of the behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, fun action sequence. I enjoyed it. But before we even got to Venice, I wanted to rewind a little bit. Again, I understand, right? Sean Connery lost his son. I get it. He lost his son, Alan Quartermain, and he wanted, in a way, what they're trying to do is he's kind of the surrogate father to Tom Sawyer here, and I get that. Did you feel bored around this time and, spending time in the sub? I actually enjoyed it because we kind of took a few minutes to hang out with the characters for a little bit. I actually kind of like it, but a lot of people find all of this, well, I'm not a big, huge fan of the Tom Sawyer stuff, but I know why he's there. But all of this, that whole middle part where they're just on the sub on the way to Venice, a lot of people find that really boring. I actually kind of like it because you get a little bit more time with, Mina. You get to see, Hyde struggling, Jekyll struggling with Hyde. He's walking down hallways and he's looking in the mirror and he's seeing the reflection of Hyde, punking him, and like all of that. There was some good stuff there, right? So I don't know. What were you bored? around that whole time. I kind of liked it though, because the whole other movie you didn't spend any time with the characters.
Yeah.
It was just action, 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 which I'm okay with, but
I generally liked it. I think they could have done it a little bit more efficiently.
Mm.
I didn't really like the I don't know what you would call it, references to possible romance. Like everyone was trying to get on Mina, and
I know, dude.
I don't know. I thought they could have just been left by the wayside entirely. You know, maybe one of them, maybe Dorian. Her and Dorian could have had their thing, and then like that, just leave it at that.
Yeah, because they ended up shagging anyway.
But what I think this movie needed a little bit more of is a little bit of humor. Because I think Mina's best character moments are the scene after she eats the dude and then she's fixing her hair.
Right.
And she does a Sean Connery impression in her room.
Oh, yeah.
When she's working on the chemistry. And I like that, too. I'm like, they should have done a little bit more of that. Like a little bit more. I think the characters need a little bit more energy in their interaction with each other. Would have helped. Yes. But overall, I liked it. But like you said, there were little elements there, like the Tom Sawyer stuff, that were a little dry.
Yeah, and I think it seems like they're kind of setting up Skinner as the comedic relief, but again, he's barely in the movie. You know, he kind of just doesn't really. He says one line later that actually really made me laugh, which we'll get to. But where we are at the story now, so they save Venice. Dorian Gray steals one of the escape pods, goes away. Oh, and then, before we have the exposition Saturday morning cartoon villain reveal moment, you know, a whole bunch of bombs go off. And actually, Hyde has his moment. Hyde actually saves the day.
Yeah,
that was actually a pretty good scene. Yeah. But I'll let you explain the villain Saturday morning cartoon reveal scene.
So this villain, he leaves like a little film or whatever for them.
Twirling the mustache.
So they play it, and they're in the sub. He's already, you know, him and Dorian have already escaped and stuff. And there's this little film there where he's like explaining his entire plan to them. Right. So he's like, it was me all along, and I had my what do you call him, like a lion within you, wolf. And then a wolf, and Dorian goes, "Rawr." I'm just like, what is this?
He's like, you've all fell for it. And it's because when I created your pack, I put you together to use you. I put in there a wolf. And then it cut to Dorian Gray, and he's like, growl. It's like,
that was actually kind of funny. I did laugh at that.
It was ridiculous, yeah.
But then he's like, you're probably wondering why I'm telling you all of this. Almost like telling the audience, like, no, really, there's a reason for this whole scene. And he's like, well, that's because you're going to die. And apparently, like, the video they were playing set off bombs, like, by microwave or something.
Oh, my God.
And the bombs start exploding all over the sub.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, I'm dying. I'm laughing. Oh, shit. Oh. Yeah, and then Dorian Gray didn't he say, bon voyage?
Dude, I'm telling you, if we didn't have Tom Sawyer in this movie, I would take more Dorian Gray and Mean all day, man. Making one-liners.
Oh, shit. Oh, let me wipe the tears. Ooh. Oh, my God. Oh, all right. Sorry, guys. We're going to get back to the movie right now. Oh, yeah. So then the bombs go off. Bon voyage. And then Hyde has his moment. He transforms. He goes down there and saves the day and saves the ship. And I like how Jekyll walks back up there with a little bit of pride, you know, and Alan Quartermain gives him the thumbs up. That was good. I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. So I guess after this, they end up at the lair, right? Because you find out later, where the fuck was Skinner? Well, Skinner was doing his own reconnaissance, and he found out where the lair is. So he's just basically told them where the lair is, and he's going to meet them there. So they arrive. Allowed
Dorian to steal this thing and plant all of the bombs in the hope that they would survive and get his message.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, shit.
The Invisible Man. What are you doing?
Ooh. Oh, God. All right. I hope nobody's drinking right now while we're talking.
Oh, no.
You're drinking. You're drinking. Oh, shit. Oh, this is a blast. This is fun. This is why we do what we do, people. Oh, God. So then they end up at the lair. And, and then Invisible Man kind of plays a little bit of grab ass with Mina, and she smacks him in the face. I've been waiting to do that all week. And then she smacks him in the face, and then she's all like covering up. I'm like, you're a fucking vampire. What are you doing? You're a vampire. You just took out a battalion earlier. All right, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, they kind of go in, and that's they. You know what I really wanted, but they probably didn't have the budget, was more team maneuver attacks.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Dude, because right when they get down to the front, all these bats take out one dude, and then the Invisible Man grabs that soldier's gun, one of the guards' gun, fucks him up with it, and then the other soldier's like, fuck this, and walks towards this way, and you see Hyde come in out of nowhere. And I'm like, dude, more of that.
That should be the whole scene, like room to room. They go in, and you don't know what's the Invisible Man going to do. What are and they can mix it up, combine attacks, and stuff. That would have been sweet.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, that would have been dope. But we had whatchamacallit, a lot of fun. The Phantom's minion, I guess he decided to he's like, you know what, I want some screen time. His main minion. He's like, I want some screen time, because I didn't even notice him until at the end. He's all like overacting for everything. I want to be seen, goddammit. He's like Van Damme breakdancing and breaking.
Yeah.
He's like in the background trying to get in the camera front, getting the camera shot. But yeah, that guy's like insane. And then we had all kinds of fun characters. We had some prototype. We had a prototype Invisible Man running around who has a fight with Tom Sawyer. So go ahead and explain what the villain was really up to.
Yeah, he wanted to he stole basically each of their essences, and he wanted to have all of their powers, basically, so he could build his own army, of his super army for whatever future conquests and whatnot.
The highest.
So he stole the Invisible Man's blood, I think, or his skin, so he could sample it and make his own invisibility cloaks and stuff, and like was it Mina's blood, and then Hyde's elixir. Mm-hmm. And then Sean Connery's accent or something. I don't know what he was going for. But then, but that was his plan. So then he was able to get an Invisible Man prototype done before they showed up.
Right.
So there's this random invisible dude trying to kill some of the protagonists, which was kind of neat.
Do you think it would have been fun if we had an Invisible Man fight?
See, I thought about that, but that would really this is what the film was missing. Was
chairs are getting thrown like in a room.
Less explosions, more like choreography. Because you could do that, but you would take some thought. You know what I mean? It would take some thought to figure out how to do that right.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen more outsmarting each other instead of just the basic kills.
Right. That would have been dope. Think about it: an Invisible Man versus Invisible Man fight in a room.
Yeah.
Where shit's getting thrown around. You hear them fighting, and then all of a sudden you hear, and then the blood appears on the mirror or something.
Yeah.
And you can tell the good Invisible Man won or something. That would have been kind of fun. But no, we got to give Tom Sawyer something to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we had all kinds of crazy shenanigans in this lair. We had, guys in armor. They were looking like Ironmonger from Iron Man with flamethrowers and shit. Like all kinds of fun little side characters. But yes, right when we get to the third act, the main finale, you can obviously tell they ran out of money. They ran out of time to complete the special effects, because there's some bad special effects. And I know what you're thinking. Oh man, I can't wait till he starts talking about Red Hulk. It's not just Red Hulk. Did you laugh hysterically when after Moriarty stabbed and killed Sean Connery and he jumped out of the window and he's like falling down? It is so bad. It is so bad. When he's running away, you could tell the castle behind him. It looks so bad. It's really bad. I wasn't supposed to be laughing hysterically, but I was when the Invisible Man got set on fire. I was laughing hysterically because it looked so bad. All you see is him on flames and on fire, and he's just running away like this. I was like, oh man. Even Dorian Gray's death, it just didn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
You could totally tell they really ran out of budget.
And
it
he
makes you wonder.
made sure that he told Mina his weakness earlier in the film. Like, by the way, if you ever want to kill me, this is how you like to do it. Because no one would have ever figured that out. Destroy the painting or make him see his own pain. No one would have ever figured that out. I can understand the main bad guy knowing because he would figure that out. But the
right,
it was
But going over some of the audience's dumb moments, exposition parts when they have their fight when Mina and Dorian Gray throw down, which was kind of fun in a way because it was more like we're both invincible.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like invincible versus invincible fight, which was kind of fun. And he's like, are we going to do this all day? You can't kill me. I can't kill you. Like, are we really going to do this? And then you have the audience's dumb moment where she turns and looks at the painting and then she goes, the painting.
Yeah.
It's like, we know what it is. Movie. God. Yeah. Especially when Dorian Gray, we're seeing him betray them earlier. And then he has to tell them, it was me. And he shoots that guy who was on the ship. Yeah. I was like, we know.
Well, we know it would be you if you just shot him. You didn't have to announce it.
Growl.
That was good. I'm going to do that from now on.
That's it. Bon voyage. Bon voyage. But yeah, she gets the upper hand on him. Did you like the fight?
It was kind of short.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised he thought he killed her with that stab because it didn't even seem like I don't know.
I guess she said something like, you missed the heart?
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he stabbed her in the heart. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A little more creativity would have helped.
Yeah. And more Nemo kung fu. We need more Nemo throwing down.
And if you can't figure out a way to kill Dorian in the film naturally, just don't have him die. Just have his painting back in his house. He doesn't need to, you don't need to have that scene in the film. You can have him get away. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's go back to, again, I did enjoy all of the Hyde Jekyll moments where they're speaking to each other and, Fleming sells it. Despite what people think of the practical effect and the CGI suit, Fleming he's a very good performer. He's always great. I don't think I've ever seen him act bad in a movie unless he was asked to. It depends on the character he was playing. So again, good design. Awesome design, it just looked wonky in motion. Same thing with Red Hulk. So Moriarty's evil minion that decided I'm stealing all the screen time now.
He did a vampire shotgun on that stuff.
He's like, I'm stealing all the screen time now. Fuck it. So he drinks the whole vial of Hyde change juice.
And then bathes in it.
Yeah. And then he turns it to the Red Hulk. So let's take a look at Red Hulk here. So again, the design is not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. In terms of design, that's kind of creepy looking. That's kind of fun. Mm-hmm. But when you see it in motion, it's a little wonky.
Yeah.
It's now these blurry GIFs here don't do it justice, but I just want chat just to kind of see just some of the action here. So this is when he first appears. Hey, how's it going? Right? Then we have our Hulk fight right here. So they start brawling, they start beating the shit out of each other, slamming each other through walls, and I enjoyed it. It almost became like a 2-on-1 fight a little bit.
Yeah.
I like him. Nemo's like, fuck it, I'm gonna jump in here, use my kung fu skills, swordsmanship. He's having fun, carving him up. That was kind of fun. I enjoyed that until he gets fucked up. So again, action set piece wise, it's fun to watch. It's just rough. It's rough. It's very rough looking. It's like they ran out of that money to make that CGI a lot smoother, or that's the best they could have done at the time. You never know, because Industrial Light and Magic were one of the special effect companies to help do this movie. So you never know. They may have just ran out of budget. I mean, well, we know they ran out of budget. That's actually fact towards the end there. But to be honest, even though it's wonky, right, and this CGI and practical effects are a little wonky in motion. It looks a little like a little ugly. Ugly. That's what I'm looking for. That kind of gave us more of a Hulk fight than Hulk at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being honest. You know, people, when Ang Lee's Hulk came out, people wanted to see what we're seeing here. Because they kind of went back and forth. They're beating the shit out of each other here. And we didn't really get that in Ang Lee's Hulk. We got him fighting Hulk dogs in Ang Lee's Hulk.
When he jumped a lot in the desert.
Right. But in terms of like beatdown, if him, you know, we didn't really get, he fought Abomination finally in the Incredible Hulk, which was a fun fight. But at the time, to kind of give this movie some credit, even though it's kind of wonky to look at, this movie gave us the Hulk fight until they perfected it later. You know, it's the closest thing to it. But yeah, it's wonky. It's not the greatest looking, but did it ruin the movie for you, or were you okay with it?
No, it didn't. It didn't ruin the movie. It was you know, because there was a team up fight, it did have some entertainment value for it. Because that's what I wanted to see throughout the whole film, are team ups of these characters we don't typically see in a film together, and we got a little bit of that here. And plus, that dude was such a nut. That random foot soldier, it added even more entertainment value to it.
Like, he was insane, man. Like, what the hell? This guy just came out of nowhere. But, you know, Moriarty ends up stabbing Alan Quartermain, and then he's running away with really bad special effects while he's dropping down and running away to the Nemo ship. And we kind of go back to Alan Quartermain teaching Sawyer how to shoot long distances and be a sniper. And it's his moment. So while Alan Quartermain is slowly dying on the end there, it's time for Sawyer to shine. And he shoots his gun, takes out Moriarty. The vial of all the ingredients, the LXG Avengers ingredients, conveniently falls into the water and sinks down, as you do. That's all wrapped up nice and tidy. Oh, and then that's pretty much our movie there. But to go back, I forgot. Like you said, more Invisible Man and more comedy, right? Now here's a good example of how that would have worked and helped this movie. So remember when they meet at the villain's lair and they're like in a snow cave and they're talking to each other, right? And then Connery's like, "Man, you're one of the biggest liars of all time. You were like, you fooled us. You're actually a good dude. What the fuck is this?" You know? He's like, why'd you even bother helping us? You know? And he's all like, he says this line. He says, because you know they're going to create more of him if he doesn't do anything. And he goes, "Any more like me, and I'll lose the franchise."
Yeah.
I'm like, dude. So there you go, Eric. I think you nailed it. More Invisible Man doing stuff, a little bit more creativity, a little bit more comedy. Definitely would have helped. I mean, why not? But at the end of the day, as Maximus said, you know, were you not entertained? That's all that matters, right? At the end of the day, despite the wonky CGI and the wonky practical effects, there is some really good visuals in this movie, though.
Yeah.
There's really good visuals. And I think for a movie like this, there's definitely, in my opinion, everyone's different, and that's to each his own, I think there's more positives in this movie. I think the positives outweigh the negatives. A character like Sawyer really could have made me hate the film. But there was a semi-decent enough balance where you get to spend some time, you know, with the other characters. A little bit more action with them individually doing things, I think would have been a lot of fun. I think, you know, but there was some fun. There was some legitimately good, fun action set pieces in here. But it's all about Nemo. It's all about Kung Fu Master Nemo is the shit. Where's his movie? But yeah, let's go ahead and get down to it here. We're going to answer the question right now. Is it really as bad? Is it really that bad? LXG 2003. And what we mean by that is it really as bad to deserve a 17% out of 100? Is it really that bad? Eric?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
There you
and
go.
I didn't even have that big of a problem with the pacing. I thought the pacing was actually pretty good. I wasn't really that bored when I was watching this.
No. That's why I brought up this, you know, around this time where everyone's getting to know people in the sub. People say they check out. They say that's really boring. And I'm kind of like, well, we're kind of finally getting to know the characters a little bit. I'm kind of enjoying it. But I'm going to have to say no. No. Despite the horrible voodoo grave, ending at the end. You know what was bad about that? It was so rushed. Like the pacing, you said the pacing was good, but that particular scene at the end was so, all right, we're at the funeral. Okay, it's good. Peace out. Pour some for the homie. Let's pour some for Alan Quartermain. That's right. Peace out. Lean for the photo. That's right. Represent. And then let's go follow Nemo, right? Literally right after that. Voodoo guy. I'm like, no. God, let it be subtle. Like, it should have had to be subtle. Right?
Yeah, Superman just died. You don't have to resurrect him this soon.
Right? Like have the lightning effect. Have the voodoo guy there, have him put his arms up in the air, but you don't hear him scream. Then fade to black.
Right.
Instead of
and the ground starts shaking like he's about to pop out of it.
It starts to shake. Like, come on, movie, what are you doing? Despite that, like I said, the positives outweigh the negatives for me. So I'm going to have to say no. It is not a perfect film. I'm sure the graphic novel is perfection. I'm sure it's flawless. And I'm sure, if they ever do this again, they'll do it right. A lot of people suggested that this would be a great TV series.
Yeah.
They said this would be a really good TV series. But in terms of just pure popcorn entertainment, there's some great visuals. There's some fun characters. There's things to like in here. And 17% out of 100 is kind of insane. It's kind of like, oh my God. We're talking Elektra level here. All right. We're talking Halle Berry Catwoman level. All right. It's not that bad. But let's see what you guys voted for. All right. Here we go. About to show the poll for the voting results right here. What did the Movie Dojo Army vote for? Let's check it out. Look at that.
There we go.
Look at that. Movie Dojo Army, majority of you agreed that it should be higher than 17%. Look at that, out of 87 votes. Check that out. I actually honestly thought it was going to be the other way.
Yeah, I hear it seems like every time I hear about this movie, somebody's bashing it.
Oh, it's puke. It's puke. As soon as I posted that we were going to talk about this, already in the comments they're like, yes, it is that bad. But when we like to do these types of episodes, we like to put things in a different perspective and come at it differently. You know what I mean? But it's all good. If people didn't like it, it's perfectly fine. We got a super chat from Bo here. Thanks, Bo, for the support. He says, I enjoyed the flick when it came out, just don't think it has stood the test of time. There you go. Well, that's honest opinion. It's honest opinion. I've just seen so many worse movies, man. Both of us. I've seen puke. I've seen utter garbage. Go out and search for a movie called Puma Man. You're going to start looking at LXG a little differently. Go out and look for a movie called Supersonic Man. You're going to look at LXG a little differently, okay? But this was fun. This was definitely fun to talk about this, brother. And I was trying to go back up. A lot of people, it looks like they kind of voted for the practical Hyde. Yeah, there's a lot more practical Hyde comments than CGI. Check that out. Copy that. Awesome. Well, this was fun, man. I didn't regret watching this again.
No.
And it's weird how after so much time has gone by, after first watching a film, how you feel about it later. It's sometimes it has the opposite effect.
Yeah.
For me, I don't want to ruin it. Is it really that bad episode? But I might as well do it now. For me, it's Van Helsing. Now, Van Helsing, I saw in the theater, loved it. I loved it so much, I bought the soundtrack. I still have the score. I really love the music in that movie. Bought it on DVD, enjoyed it, right? Upgraded it to Blu-ray.
Oh, no.
I had problems, man. I had problems. Again, there's a lot of things to like in that movie, and I can see a lot of people enjoying it.
Well, Hugh Jackman alone can help,
Oh, well, yeah. But I think what kind of soured me watching Van Helsing again And it's got its fans, and as long as you guys are enjoying it, that's all that matters. But I had issues rewatching it, man. I was like, oh, this is not working out. I watched a movie called Solomon Kane.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Solomon Kane is low budget, and I watched that first before rewatching Van Helsing on Blu-ray, and I was having problems. But anyway, maybe we'll talk about Solomon Kane next time. You know what, though? Maybe we should announce a future episode. Fuck it. Do you mind looking up the ratings for Replacement Killers, my friend?
Another one that I'd like to nominate in the future is The 13th Warrior.
Ooh, yeah. What's the rating on that one? Let's check that, too.
Yeah, Replacement Killers.
Yeah.
Is a 36 on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, hold on. Let me go to the actual website, because sometimes Google throws on the viewer rating instead.
Okay.
Replacement Killers. 36%.
Yeah, that's atrocious.
Audience score is 47.
Ugh, that's not good either.
13th Warrior.
I wanted to do Van Helsing versus Solomon Kane, but I kind of already ruined it now. Sorry. Where are we at with 13th Warrior?
33% for the 13th Warrior.
Wow. That's really bad. It makes you wonder. What people saw or what people were expecting from a Viking movie. I don't know.
Also, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen had some negative press going into it because everybody, even without, the internet was obviously around in the early 2000s, but everybody knew the problems. Sometimes the critics come out with their claws ready and ready to pounce sometimes on a movie if they think they're, you know what I mean? Sometimes they're like that.
That's true. Maybe it got out. Like the Norrington and Sean Connery butted heads. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is one bad, even though we enjoyed the film and found it entertaining, even though we admit it's not great. Unfortunately, the real bad thing about this movie is that because of such a horrible experience, Sean Connery quit acting and Stephen Norrington quit directing. That's really the only huge bummer for me.
Yeah.
The guy that directed fucking Blade said, I'm done making movies.
5 years after he made that movie. His career just was cut way too short, dude.
Yeah. That sucks because for a guy who can direct Blade, it's like, and I enjoyed LXG for what it is. But the thing is like, all these directors, they'll make hits and they'll make bombs. And some movies, but I guess it was just so horrible experience for him. He's just like, I'm just done, period. I was like, dude, man, that sucks. Do some TV, do something. Like, don't just give up. I don't know. That's the real big bummer out of all of this, really, is that, it is what it is. But it's fun. It's a fun popcorn flick. It's a fun popcorn flick. You can enjoy it. It's all about Nemo, son.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's plan on in the future. We'll do some Replacement Killers and we'll do some 13th Warrior.
Yeah.
I know a while back, excuse me, some of the Movie Dojo Army were like, hey, maybe we should do 13th Warrior versus the Pathfinder. You remember that one? It's a Viking movie with Carl Urban. And the plot synopsis is great. The plot synopsis is great, but I didn't really like the movie. But that doesn't necessarily ruin a versus episode because I could be outvoted. Pathfinder.
And remember, we also have to do the remake of Inside. Is it really that bad?
Oh God!
I remember that one's on my list too. I got my list right here.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, there's some big ones that you gotta man up and do. I know you don't want to do that one. You don't want to do that one.
I gotta be a winner and go home and fuck the prom queen. Yes, because Samurai Guy is not a loser. But yeah, you know me, I'm always down, man. I'm always down to do something. But let's see. Was there anything else? What you got going on your channel this week?
You're doing some weird stuff.
Oh, here we go. Don't forget about this.
Oh my. Is that low rated?
Dude. Oh, it's atrocious.
What?
It's atrocious. It's a crime. It's a crime.
That's one of James Wan's best movies.
Yeah, the movie no one talks about out of James Wan's entire filmography. They never talk about Death Sentence. It's horrible. It's horrible. I don't understand why.
Death Sentence.
They'll talk about dead. Yeah. What? Go ahead, read.
20%?
20. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're doing it. Fuck it. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Thank you, Sumo. Thank you for reminding us. Yeah, 20%. Are they insane? Are these insane people?
I'm tired of dealing with idiots. But yeah, you'll like one movie review I'm doing in the next week is one I know you and Lady Blood enjoyed, and that's The Tiger I'm reviewing.
Oh, shit. All right, nice. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You didn't like it.
What?
Oh, you went, you sighed. I was like, he didn't like it.
Yeah, I like that one.
Because you went. I was like, oh, no, he didn't like it. Oh, no. It's all good. Wow, 20%, bro. That's insane. That is insane. What, it's too violent? What, is it just just violent crap?
Yeah.
It's like, have you not seen a guy that his family gets, him and his family get fucked over by a bunch of assholes and he wants revenge? Who cannot relate to that?
I know, really.
It's like, have they not seen Death Wish with Charles Bronson? They probably don't even know who Charles Bronson is. How much you want to bet it's a whole bunch of younglings that voted this movie? Death Sentence was so good that it kicked my ass. Because I remember the trailer for it, and I was like, dude, this is some Death Wish ripoff. Fuck this movie. I talked shit about it. And then somebody told me, no, it's legit. I'm like, really? And then years later, finally watched it on like Amazon Prime, and I was like, dude, what the hell was I smoking? This was a better Death Wish remake than the Death Wish remake with Bruce Willis.
Never even watched it.
It has its moments. Yeah. It has its moments. It's just you're gonna just forget about it as soon as you turn it off. But yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. And looking forward to having you on Versus this Thursday. Thursday's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
I got to rewatch Wheels on Meals, Dragons Forever. 2 Jackie Chan classics, y'all. That's right, this Thursday. And just to entice you a little bit, Benny the Jet Urquidez, kickboxing martial arts champion, had one of the best fight scenes in film history and martial art movie history against Jackie Chan in Wheels on Meals. Both of these movies are kung fu comedies, martial arts comedies. But they have a rematch in Dragons Forever. So I want to know from you guys, out of both movies, which fight is better. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, too. But yeah, that's this Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow, I'm just going to do a regular live Q&A and hang out with all you guys, all you badasses tomorrow. We're going to have some of the members, the channel members, show up with me for a little bit. And Wednesday, we have Richard Norton's son. That's right. I know. Martial arts legend. The man. That's right. He's going to be.
I remember when I was a little tyke, little Asian movie. Well, I was a little movie enthusiast.
Yeah.
And I would be sitting there with my little chips, and I'd be watching Richard Norton and Cynthia Rothrock kicking ass.
Right. That's it.
It's a nourishing childhood,
Yes. Yeah. It made you who you are today.
Yeah.
I used to go in the 7-Eleven, man, and you go into 7-Eleven, and they always had this one little section, this tiny section with just VHS tapes, and it was always Cynthia Rothrock and Richard Norton movies over there.
And then I got into my 20s, and I was like, wait, they did Hong Kong movies?
Yeah,
and then my mind was really blown.
I couldn't believe it, man.
I'm like, wait, what?
I couldn't believe it when I saw Yes, Madam. or AKA Police Assassins with Cynthia Rothrock. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is the same person? Like, brutal fights, weapons. I was like, yo. Yeah, good shit, man. Good
Dude,
shit.
Where's my freaking Blu-ray box set of that franchise? The first 4 of those movies are all awesome. Yeah. I think the second one's better than the first one, and the fourth one's better than the second one. It's like ridiculous that where's my Blu-ray set? You know what I mean? Tricked out with special features.
Yeah. Which one? What are the titles again? What were the titles?
In the Line of Duty 1 to 4.
Okay. Yeah, 4. He fought Donnie Yen fought Michael Woods, right?
Yeah.
Dude, Michael Woods is like a beast. I mean, I'll contact him, have him be on the channel, hang out.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah. Yeah, why aren't those on Blu-ray?
I don't know, man.
That's it, man. Hit up Frank Jang, bro. You got the contact now. Hit up Frank. Hey, tell Eureka.
I know.
Start remastering these movies. I wanted to buy In the Line of Duty 4. I used to have it on DVD. I don't know where it is. But I wanted to buy it on Amazon Prime because it's HD. I wanted to buy it. But then I think it's only English dubbed. And I'm like, no. I don't need that. You know, but yeah, there's tons of classics, man. Dude, I was looking for, Moon Lee movies, bro. I'm trying to pull Eric. I'm trying to pull Eric, and I couldn't find shit. I went to Amazon. I went to all these other websites. I couldn't find any Moon Lee movies. I'm like, this is some bullshit. So I gave in and bought 2 off of Amazon Prime. Just like in their standard edition, they're full screen, they're English dubbed.
Which ones?
Oh, man, I got to...
Probably Iron Angels 3 is probably one of them.
Yes, that is one of them.
Trying to think of another one that's like dubbed with full screen, but I can't think of one.
I'll let you know what the other one I have. But I do have Kickboxer's Tears. I think that's the only DVD I have of Moon Lee. But yeah, there's some bullshit. What makes me mad, though, is when you go to YouTube, you'll see people post fight clips, and it's like widescreen and remastered of some of her fights. And I'm like, where did you buy that copy? Can we get a copy? Beautifully remastered. Be nice. Yeah. Does Yukari Oshima play? Does she speak English? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I'm such a fan of hers, man.
Yeah.
She's so good.
They're a dynamic duo. She and Moon Lee were in like 20 movies together.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She doesn't get a lot of credit. I was only asking because it'd be cool to have her on the channel, but
yeah, unless
she has a translator or something. But the whole thing, I'll just be fanboying. You're the best.
You were great in Rikio.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to have you on for that one. I'll bring you on for that. If I start getting guests like that, I'll bring you on with me.
If you get Julia Stellan, you better have me on.
It's funny. I did a trailer reaction for The Protege, the new Maggie Q movie coming out, because I like Maggie.
Yeah,
and it looks like it might be fun, right? But if you stop and think about it, I guess in a way Maggie Q was kind of the Julia Estelle for her time.
Yeah,
if you think about it, I know Julia Estelle's she's still coming up, she's still on her way, But it's kind of like, she just kind of reminds me of her. Like, very athletic, quite fetching, that as well. She just kind of reminds me of her. But she's still kicking, man. Maggie Q's still kicking. But yeah, we're any future Julia Estelle movies, we got to check it out.
Yeah.
She's actually talented.
Yeah.
It's not just eye candy.
Right.
She works her butt off and trains hard and takes bumps and shit, dude. Like, she's badass. I wouldn't be able to take bumps like that. I'd fall down once. That's it. I shatter. What else you got going on? Just the Tiger review this week and hanging out with me on Thursday. That's about it.
Yeah. I got some other art house stuff I'm reviewing too. Some art house, a little art house, and I'm doing a Blu-ray collection update video because I bought some insane things. So yeah, that'll be a big one.
Nice, cool. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Also, as of right now, I'll announce it that we will have another special guest this Friday. As if I don't have enough special guests every week. We're gonna have another one this Friday, and it's someone from the horror community. That's right. And if I get a chance today, I'll schedule it and post it, and you'll see who it is. And Eric, I'll tell you when we get offline. All right.
Good. I get
All
to
right,
know
guys.
before everyone else.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll hang out. 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll hang out. We'll have some of the channel members hang out with Samurai for a little bit, and we'll talk movies. And then Wednesday's Richard Norton at 6, and Thursday's Versus at 6, and Friday, special guest, another one. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe to Asian Movie Enthusiasts. Keep starting the fucking ruckus. And we'll see you badasses again next time. Take care, guys.